No King Kong, but he is the unforgettable Roger Dillard. I will always remember him for catching flaming arrows. Oh my goodness, his country charm, his death-defying stunts, they wowed all of us at attractions back in the 80s like Silver Dollar City that eventually morphed into Dollywood. Well, I always wondered what happened to Roger Dillard. Well, let's take a look back and then catch up with Roger today.
Around East Tennessee, Roger Dillard is known as the mountain man of a popular theme park. But what you may not know is that Roger is also a stuntman appearing in major motion pictures, a karate expert, and a master of primitive weapons. But tonight, we'll see him perform some life-threatening stunts. Tonight, Roger will attempt to catch, with his bare hands, a flaming arrow, a flying tomahawk, and then, while blindfolded, will throw 2 tomahawks at targets separated by a human being.
There is 1 in a million chances of me missing, yes.
He's not afraid of doing many stunts at all. He'll try anything once.
Yes!
For Roger, this all started 18 years ago when his childhood infatuation for playing cowboys and Indians grew into an interest in the martial arts.
In that, I found that you could do things that you did not believe was possible before. Through a lot of body work and a lot of studying and different things, and through the martial arts, I was able to get introduced to the stunts that could be done and seeing what the body could do.
And to his amazement, Roger discovered there isn't much his body can't do.
I've had people to tell me, well, there's just certain things that is not humanly possible. And when I'm told that, I like to find out if it is. So I go to all limits to find out.
Roger has worked as a karate instructor with Johnny Paycheck and as an entertainer nationwide. He will soon appear on TV's That's Incredible and has appeared in motion pictures such as Brubaker and Attica. He could easily be Kirk Douglas's stand-in. Most recently, he has taken on the role of the mountain man, using primitive weapons in his stunts.
I have studied the mountains around here in Tennessee where I live. I have traveled the mountains more than most people. The character itself, what I'm hoping to do, of course, someday is get to do a movie as the mountain man.
Stuntman, mountain man, husband, and father of 4, Roger is a man you'd most likely find in adventure novels. His wife, Lana, holds the family together while Dad trains for his life-threatening stunts.
Really, there's never a dull moment. He's always doing something. Well, we can't have a schedule, you know what I mean? There's always something going on all the time. Roger's always been this way.
What about when he does a stunt that's dangerous? Do you ever worry about him?
Sure. I think everybody worries, but he's always done things like that, you know, it's sort of natural.
How do other people respond to your husband that dresses up in a mountain man costume?
They think we're weird. They really think we're weird. They think, boy, that family down the block's really weird.
Thousands of hours of practice go into every stunt that Roger performs. How does he decide which stunts to do? Well, that's easy. Just pick the most dangerous and least attempted.
The flaming arrow stunt itself is a very dangerous stunt. It is a stunt in which you could get hurt very bad. Matter of fact, a person could get killed because the arrows in which I use has steel tips on them. They have target tips. I've had the arrow shot into my hand before when I was doing a show. But the flame itself, with all the hair and everything I have, hitting the arrow bone, it could be knocked directly into my face. So it's just something that I dreamed up that no one else was doing.
Con la mano, señores.
Catching a tomahawk in midair is one stunt few would ever consider, let alone do. Somehow your hand starts to ache just thinking about it.
It is probably the least glamorous stunt there is, but it is the hardest. There's just simply catching. I mean, you put together, I have been cut up all up through here. Once again, it's right back to practice. I have to say that on every one of the things. You have someone walk up, well, I can do that, and I do make it look easy. As any stuntman does. If a stuntman comes out, or an actor or anyone, if you can tell they're doing it, then they're in trouble. They're not doing it proper. So when we walk out, we make it look like it's so easy, and walk away if we don't. We're in trouble with it.
I think a crazy man does that, but
Feels that there's something in him that drives him to do this. If there's an element of danger involved, then he just accepts that and goes ahead and does the stunt anyway.
I don't know, some kind of just a driving force to be different.
I have the Throwing a tomahawk blindfolded is no joke. In Roger's previous stunts, his life was at stake. This time, it's Rosie Newton's.
There's always a bit of danger there. It's like car racing or anything. You know, that's one reason that people likes to see it. But I take every precaution. I don't recommend nobody to do what I'm doing unless they do an awful lot of training.
If something went wrong, would she have time to get out of the way before that tomahawk hit her?
Well, no, she would get hit more than likely. This is something that I have never had to happen, so I really don't know. I just say as I instruct, and if she has to be able to see it leaving my hand, and if it leaves a hand wrong, then she knows she has to move.
And cut, that's a wrap.
Roger Dillard is a person that does what he wants to do with his life. He does many different things throughout life. I have all of my life. I've always done stuff that I've enjoyed. These stunts that I'm doing right now are stunts that I've worked for 6 months solid building my midsection, and I can take any type of a blow in the midsection. Then when you're suspended over the bed of fire and the hot ashes down in there, if something was to happen that the sledgehammer would go through and break you basically into, you're getting a tremendous force coming in on you, you would go down into the bed of fire. So that is extremely dangerous if you don't build yourself accordingly.
Roger, when you're old and gray, how do you want to be remembered when people talk about Roger Dillard?
This is my life. I get high doing this, so you go up and you go up high. I do it for complete self-satisfaction, and most people enjoy seeing me do it.
Wow. Now you have to know, I've interviewed hundreds of people over the years, but no one can match the man who can catch flaming arrows. Roger! It's been nearly 4 decades, 3 or 4 decades.
Yes.
It is so wonderful to see you. How have you been?
Yes, been good. Life's good.
So we have to know, thank God you've survived all these stunts after all these years. What have you been up to these past 3
Well,
decades?
it is because of God, because He's healed me, and I preach the Word and still serving the Lord, and married, and very happy with my wife and my family, and I'm just still the mountain man.
Well, you still look good. You're still in good shape. Thank goodness you're healthy. What's next for the mountain man? I just can't imagine any of this going away anytime soon.
No, it's not going to, and you and I are going to talk a lot about this after we get away. So we're going to plan other shows and plan a lot of different things. So hope to see y'all down the road.
Now, you've been on a lot of shows since we were with you on PM Magazine. I think you've traveled the world doing...
I've traveled the world in a lot of countries.
Yeah,
and Japan, Europe, South America. I mean, I've been all over, Chile, Santiago. I mean, just actually all the other countries.
Well, you're very different, and we're just so glad to have you back on the show.